Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's Dan, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, everyone, on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right, Dan?
Yes.
Okay, on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Oh, this week is dragging, dude. This week is dragging. It's our pre-holiday week, as you all know. Next week, Dan and I are off. Not together, unless you want to go somewhere, Dan. Do you want to go to the beach? I'm sure the lady Dan might protest. But we're both off next week from Friday on. So don't expect a live show on Friday morning. We'll be on vacation, but we'll be with you tomorrow and the day after with some more ProBoh Show madness. Big good morning to Eugene joining us in the chat. He says, hi guys, how are you doing, Eugene? Mr. Cruzando's with us. Vero's with us. She says, good morning, beautiful bohemians around the universe and beyond. A special shout out to all the places burning all around the country. Stay safe, guys. Yeah, have there been, Dan, are there forest fires going on right now? Are there incendios?
Yes.
Are there? Oh, my God. I almost swore then. Yeah, be safe out there, guys. Not only if you're in a region that is being affected by the fires, also if you're just going out, stay hydrated. We are in the middle of a massive, massive heat wave here in Spain. For our international listeners, we produce the show from Madrid, Spain. It is currently 8:31 a.m. Central European Time, and you're listening to the ProBoh Show. Should we see what's coming up in today's show? I think we should. In today's 100 Humans, we asked them to name something you do on a romantic night in. And today's unpopular opinion is, a night in is often better than a night out. Is this where we can see the age of our listeners? Maybe. I dare say Dan is a night in person. We'll find out later, but I think so. Which is sad. Shouldn't our 20-year-olds be the ones just keen to go out and get drunk and make all those mistakes that we made? I don't know. But anyway, we'll get more into that later. If you want to participate and be as cool, as sexy, and as charming as Eugene, Mr. Cruzando, Vero, and the other people joining us in the live audience, you can do that on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. That's twitch.tv/professional bohemian. You can also interact with the show outside of our lifetimes on my Instagram. That's @professional bohemian. Or if you're extra specially sexy, you can join me on Patreon, patreon.com/professional bohemian. That's Bohemio Profesional, pero en inglés. There we go. All the nonsense over with. How are you doing, guys? Should we get into a little bit of news? I think we probably should. Let's see. Okay. We seem to be living in times of trying to put genies back in bottles. Trying to redress the weird kind of promiscuity we see online. It's true that sex has become ubiquitous to the online experience, right? And we're seeing laws, especially here in Europe, of new motivation to kind of stem the flow of sexual content online. And The Verge actually came out with a very interesting article. I can't remember whether it was today or yesterday. Sex is getting scrubbed from the internet, but a billionaire can sell you AI nudes. El sexo está desapareciendo de internet, pero un multimillonario puede venderte desnudos generados por inteligencia artificial. If you can hear a banging, by the way, that's the floor above. It's really loud, eh, Dan?
Yes.
Can you hear it in there?
Yes.
My God. What are they doing up there? Maybe that's coming from the hotel. Maybe there's a couple having a really good morning. God, I hope they're not listening to me while they're doing anything inappropriate. Dan. Anyway, So let's get into this. The Verge argues there's a stark double standard online while mainstream platforms and app stores are scrubbing sexual content via the UK-style age gates and crackdowns on indie NSFW games. Do you know what NSFW stands for, Dan?
Not safe for work.
Of course you knew what that meant, didn't you, Dan? You didn't even have to think about it. You almost started answering before I'd finished the question. NSFW, not safe for work games. So if you weren't aware, or if you just browse the Steam catalog, there are a ton of porno games, and that's what they're referring to here. So while app stores are scrubbing sexual content via the UK-style age gates and crackdowns, XAI just launched Grok Imagine with a spicy mode that can generate deepfake nudes of real people with few visible guardrails. I've never used Grok. You use Grok, right, Dan?
Yes.
Have you used it as an image generator?
Not really.
No, yeah, that's what you tell me. Have you never used the spicy mode? No.
No.
That laugh, Dan. That laugh. I believe you, Dan. I want you to know, I believe you. Okay. I can't speak for the listeners, but I believe you. So Grok, the image generation portion of Grok, at least, has a spicy mode that will generate nude deepfakes of real people with few visible guardrails. Elon Musk boasted of 34 million images made on day one, and critics say the feature makes it trivially easy to create non-consensual images, or non-consensual intimate images, even as other venues restrict consensual adult content. So yeah, while the rest of the internet is curbing the flow of nudity and sexual content online, which I think is generally speaking to protect children, not so much to protect we adults, right? Well, Elon Musk says, go ahead and generate spicy images at a cost. Legally, experts say XAI may dodge the new US Take It Down Act because Grok appears to deliver images privately, muddying what counts as publication, and might not qualify as a covered platform. So basically they're saying here that because when Grok generates an image, it gives you that image in a private chat, it's not technically publishing nude content. That loophole, combined with weak enforcement against powerful companies and the leverage of gatekeepers like Apple and payment processors, help explain why smaller apps get banned for AI nudes while Grok's iOS-only video service proceeds. The piece's bottom line: currently, online safety regimes often sideline ordinary users and creators, while a well-connected firm can profit from technology that facilitates image-based abuse. Are we seeing here that Elon Musk is able to dodge these policies just because he has a seat? Oh yeah, he's an incredibly powerful individual. It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? How do you feel about that? How do you, if you're joining us in the chat, how do you feel about that? And more to the point, how do you feel just in general with this movement towards restricting access to nude or illicit images? I mean, I was already in my 20s before the internet really became an important part of my life. Dan, I was already your age. In fact, maybe even 1 year older. I was already 21 when I got my first email address. Yeah, that makes me sound ancient, doesn't it? But it's true. I remember I was at university and they said, okay, we'll email you your coursework. And I'm like, excuse me? You'll what? So the idea, like, I was already an adult before, before the internet became, half porn. So yeah, it's something that fortunately I missed. But if you were a young child, if you were like, I don't know, 12, 13, just navigating the internet, you jump on Twitter or Reddit, images of nudity and explicit sexual content was pretty easy to get hold of. But are we becoming more puritanical? Are algorithms driving our relationship with sex and nudity online? Is this algorithmic? Is this an example of governments telling us what we can or cannot consume? There's definitely an argument to be made there, even though I believe, on the whole, restricting access to this kind of content is probably a good thing, isn't it? Should we do one more? Let's do one more, shall we? I did have a good one here about, here we go. Did you go to university, Dan? You're a university educated young man, right?
Well, I went to un grado superior.
Okay. So a higher, I don't know what the equivalent, I think for us it would be a bachelor's degree. Un bachillerato.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. Well, no, bachillerato is like the one before.
Okay.
Like one that prepares you for a specific job.
Okay. And you've done that, right?
Yes.
There's an interesting article coming out of fortune.com. Palantir CEO says working at his $430 billion software company is better than any degree from Harvard or Yale. You've probably heard of Harvard and Yale, big important universities there in the States. Palantir Technologies is an American publicly traded company specializing in software platforms for data mining. So this CEO is suggesting that just working at his company is way better than a degree from Harvard or Yale. El CEO de Palantir dice que trabajar en su empresa de software valorado en 430 mil millones de dólares es mejor que un título de Harvard or Yale. And you know what? I read this article and I think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It used to be that, having a university degree was almost a guarantee of, a lifetime of a decent job, but that's certainly not the case anymore, is it? So Palantir CEO Alex Karp says elite degrees no longer impress at his company, and that working at Palantir is a better credential than a diploma from Harvard, Yale, or Princeton. On the firm's recent earnings call, he argued that once people join, no one cares where they studied. Impact and execution matter more, and the company sees itself offering a new credential independent of class and background. Karp's pitch doubles as branding. Palantir experience, he claims, opens doors because alumni known for tackling hard problems. I guess he's saying that, that real in-work experience is way more valuable than what a degree from one of the top 3 universities in the US can provide. And guess what? Recruiters largely agree. It's a strong signal, though not a golden ticket. And note that performance and role fit still trump. That performance and role fit still trump pedigree. Okay, my God. So they're saying here that, that your performance and how well you fit the role is still more important than some pedigree that you may have achieved at a different company. The comments ride a broader Gen Z skepticism about expensive degrees and came alongside Palantir's milestone quarter, reinforcing his message that the market rewards skills over schooling. It's interesting. We've come to how we've witnessed the wholesale degradation in society of what is the university experience. Because I would argue one of the benefits of studying in higher education, one of those benefits, is making contacts, right? I mean, Dan, you're sat here because Dave studied with you. Dave came on board, recommended you. I met you, and I'm like, I don't like this guy. Let's get him out of here as quickly as possible. But I was desperate. and here you are. See the important role of higher education. I'm joking, Dan. I'm joking. But you know what I mean? I mean, these crucial relationships, the networking you do at university, the training that you get in goal-oriented learning is vital. But it seems to be that now the market is and has slowly been shifting towards real-world experience over what is a university degree, which you will end up in just crazy amounts of debt to attain. And it seems to be, it's worth asking the question, is a university degree even worth it anymore? All right, on that note, friends, let's go to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, here we are, basking in the warm glow of our unpopular opinion section. Today's brain fart, today's pedomental is: a night out is better than... a night in, is better than a night out. Now, the elves translated this as una noche en casa es mejor que una noche fuera. I would translate that as es mejor que una noche de fiesta. Because a night out in British English certainly suggests a night out, drinking, alcohol. It's not like out as in standing on the street and looking at the stars, you know. So that's how I would translate that. Una noche en casa es mejor que una noche de fiesta. How do you think they voted on Instagram, Dan?
I think they voted true.
Do you think by a little or by a lot?
By a lot.
They did, dude. 88% of people voted true. I'm curious to know do you think if we did this topic pre-pandemic, that the results would have been different? Just what do you think, Dad?
I think it's something more related to the age of the people than...
Okay, if I were to ask you, what would you say?
I will say in.
Yeah. So I don't see much of a discrepancy between age, because I think me in my 40s, I would prefer a night in, if I'm honest. Always. I mean, now I don't have very little choice. If I want to meet people, I have to leave the house to do it. But I would prefer a night in every day of the week. You're in your 20s. You prefer a night in. That would suggest that people in between in their 30s would prefer a night in. And I'm wondering if the pandemic has rewired our brains in some way. Or is this more of a socio-economic issue of just the rising cost of living? Am I going to go outside? Am I going to go out, spend 10 euros on a bottle of beer, then times that by however many my stomach can handle until I fall into a taxi, spend another 30 euros just to get home. And then I wake up in the morning like over 100 euros lighter with scant memories of the evening I've just had. I mean, when I first came to Spain, I could go out and get drunk on 30 euros. Yeah, so what's... so I want to kind of, as well as come to a consensus on this issue, I would like your ideas on why you think this shift has happened. 88% of people voted true. Vero says, Danny, Dave, the Oracle, and the Bird are the Fantastic Four in radio technical work. Oh, that's lovely. Vero says, false. It depends on how you spend it and with who. Eugene says, true. It's a more convenient way and cheaper. All right, so yeah, there we go. I want to come to a consensus, but I also want to understand why this is the case. We are social animals, after all. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Let's start at the pro column, where 88% of our people voted. At home, you control the environment. Comfy clothes, your own playlist, snacks, exactly how you like them, and no loud strangers or long queues. It's cost effective. A night in can be far cheaper than going out for dinner, drinks, or entertainment. No cover charge, inflated drink prices, or taxi fares. That's point number 2, which leads me to believe this is an issue of this is a socio-economic issue rather than a reaction to a pandemic. It's weird how many complained about being locked inside, and now the lockdown is over, none of us want to leave. Flexibility and control. You choose the activities, watching a film, gaming, cooking, reading, without being tied to someone else's schedule or the pace of a crowd. Yeah, there's another thing. Could this be maybe a secuela? God, how do you say that in Spanish? A side effect. My God. Hang on, wait. Sequela's not side effect. What's sequela in English?
Well, yes.
It's side effect. I can't believe I don't trust my own Spanish as well as you seem to right now, Dan. But is this a side effect of a growingly and increasingly narcissistic individual, perhaps, who doesn't want to go out and listen to a club's music? They don't want to go out and deal with other people. They would much rather be cocooned with the best company, their own company. Lower stress and fewer risks. Staying at home means avoiding potential downsides of nightlife, crowded spaces, noise, traffic, or safety concerns like theft or harassment. And the final point here in the pro column, a night in can be more intimate, allowing for deeper conversations or closer connection with friends, partners, or family without distractions. I'm honestly, like, every time I've been out recently, it's been like midday, afternoon. Like, by the time Alberto and I stumbled out of the bar that we were in last Friday, I think it was only like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I mean, to be fair, we'd been there since 2 in the afternoon, but still. All right, let's get into the cons, shall we? Where only 18% of our people 12% of our people voted. So, saying no, a night out can be better than a night in. Going out offers opportunities to meet new people, strengthen friendships, and experience the energy of a shared atmosphere. We are social animals. And I wonder if we're cutting off our nose to spite our face here. We don't want to have to deal with other humans, but the more infrequent it becomes the times we do deal with other humans, the more inept we become at social interaction, just creating a vicious cycle of 8 billion people trapped in their own homes. Break from routine. A night out can provide a refreshing change of scenery, helping break the monotony of staying in the same space every day. Especially if you're one of the many people who work from home. When do you ever see outside of your four walls? This is particularly prescient for people like me who live in a big city. And if we want to take a lungful of fresh air, our only option is to leave our property. All right? We have to go out onto the street. I don't have a garden. Cultural and sensory experiences. Restaurants, concerts, theatre and nightlife offer sights, sounds and tastes you can't replicate at home. You know, you're a concert goer, Dan.
Yeah.
Like me. One of my favourite things about going to a concert doesn't even involve the band. And I want to know if it's the same for you. Some of my favourite moments in concerts are being surrounded by strangers and seeing us all react to the same thing at the same time. That sense of community. That overwhelming sense of community you can have by just being a group of people, a single mind, a single consciousness. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's something beautiful about that moment where, well, at least when I was a kid, everyone would lift up their lighters and I don't know, and it's something beautiful and mysterious, and we are messy creatures, and I feel like avoiding the mess is just not doing anything good for society. Okay, so let's continue. Boosts mood and energy. Physical activity, dancing, walking between venues, live music, and laughter in social settings can elevate mood and reduce feelings of isolation. How many times are we going to talk about this loneliness epidemic, guys? You know, we all recognize that it's prescient, and it's sad. Yet we all want to stay at home. Is that what I'm gleaning from this? And the final point here in the con column. Nights out often come with unexpected stories, adventures, or experiences that stick in your memory. Something less likely to happen in your living room. Yeah. Well, some of the greatest stories in your life didn't start with, so I ordered Indian food and watched Netflix. Did they? All right, friends. Well, that's the topic open for debate today. I made the statement: a night in is often better than a night out. Una noche en casa es mejor que una noche de fiesta. True or false? I guess you guys will tell us in the chat. I'm looking forward to seeing it. We will give you a few minutes to do that. Just a final thank you and a reminder that we will be live tomorrow and Thursday. But Friday and the following week, Dan and I will be on holiday. Holiday! All right, friends. Anyway, we have to take a little break. We'll see you in just a few short minutes. Hey, guys. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, PROBOH. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're joining us live at 9 a.m. Central European Time with the ProBoh Show with me and Dan. All right. What have we looked at? If you've just tuned in, you can still. By the way, you still have time to vote on today's poll. 6 minutes left. A night out is often better than a night in. In the news, we looked at as sex is getting scrubbed from the internet. Thanks to UK-style age gates and crackdowns on not safe for work, NSFW, content and games. XAI just, released an AI that will generate pictures of nudes. Do you have to be a billionaire tech bro with your hands in the pockets of politicians to get away with this? Is this where the rules stop when it comes to people like Elon Musk? Yeah, it's kind of annoying to me how the rest of the world is kind of pushing in one direction, and just because you're a multi-billionaire, you can do whatever the hell you want. And then we looked at a statement from Palantir CEO Alex Karp, saying that working at Palantir is better for your future prospects than a degree from Harvard or Yale. Is that true? Maybe, I would kind of question whether it's better than a degree at Harvard or Yale, but better than a degree from my university, possibly. And I went to a good university. I went to Manchester University, one of the biggest unis in the UK. But still, I mean, maybe working at this company, Palantir, having that experience under you, rather than a piece of paper that says you're good at, you're a good student. Maybe, it's a weird and sad shift away from higher education for me. And then we moved into today's unpopular opinion, which is a night in is often better than a night out, or a night in is better than a night out. Una noche en casa es mejor que una noche de fiesta. Dan, so you would say a night in is better, right?
Yes.
Why? Why for you?
Because the main thing that I don't like about nights out are the moment when you have to return home.
Okay.
That path, that way, is horrible.
Because you're usually really drunk, right?
No.
Drunk, too many drugs at that moment. You just can't focus properly. No, right? No, I'm with you. I kind of understand. Because taxes are is it because taxes are expensive, or by that point you're just so tired you just can't? I don't know. Like for me, I can point to several reasons. I find it easier to kind of. Here's a weird thing. I find it easier to point out why society has moved that way than pointing out why I personally have moved that way. I haven't had this conversation with myself. But I used to be a very social person. Fitz and I, every Friday, we would go out, you know, and then Saturday would have its own plans. And is it age? Is it the lack of energy? I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. That definitely has a part to play. Is it the expense? That definitely has a part to play. I mean, I'm single now. I should be going out and meeting new people, but the idea of going out just to meet people, just, I don't know, fills me with anxiety. Here's the thing, you see. I feel like most young people, a big part of their social engagement, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this one, Dan. A big part, when I was young, half the reason you were going out was to meet someone that evening. Another half was to spend time with your friends and get drunk. But a big portion of the reason, the motivation to get your nicest clothes on, to shave and go out on the town was to try and meet someone. But of course, all that interaction happens on your mobile phone now. Do you know what I mean? Does that make... Am I being, like, in some way... Am I being naive there? Someone tell me in the chat, if you're around my age, does that make sense to you too? When you were young, half of the reason you were going out, getting dressed in your best clothes, looking sharp, to meet a guy or a girl, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just part of what it is to be a kid and to be out there. But now all that interaction happens on your mobile phone, and it doesn't happen based on your award-winning personality. It happens based on a set of curated pictures. Have we trained a generation to be less social? Is this what's happening here? Did the pandemic have any part to play in this? I just find this a really fascinating subject. Let's see, Mr. Cruthando. Because I don't go out often, I enjoy it more when I do. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it too. I mean, if I'm honest, most of the times I go out in the evening, it's usually a Vaughan event. I mean, we've got a meeting with all the presenters happening. Well, I say a meeting. I mean, we're all going to go for a beer. That's happening in September. That'll be the next night out I have, or evening out. After that, probably it'll be a trivia night. But does it make sense? Do we experience socialization now online? Is it replaced going out in the evening for us? So our evenings are now, we've managed to make it so our socialization so efficient that now our evenings can be spent with Netflix in front of another screen. You know, we wake up in the morning, we look at a 6-inch screen. First thing we wake up to go to work, where we can stare at like a 12-inch screen. So we stare at that 12-inch screen for 8 hours, so we can go home, stare at a 60-inch screen until we eventually fall asleep and repeat. Is that what life is? Does it make you wonder why people are so anxious and sad nowadays? I think I'm starting to depress myself with this topic. What do you think, Dan? Am I making any sense here?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, if you were single, Dan, would your opinions about going out change? I would imagine not, right?
No.
Because, like, I feel this urge to hit the town, go out, be social, because I'm in a position now where I'm kind of unhappy in myself. My worldview has been a little rocked, and I'm single. So my first instinct is, let's go out, let's meet friends, let's do things, let's try. Boy, but does it just grind my gears, the idea of it. And of course, I'm not going to be like I was in my 20s. I'm not going to, when it was socially acceptable to speak to strangers. I'm not doing that now. I don't want to be seen as a creep or a weirdo. When I mean strangers, like guys at bars, let alone girls. You know, geez Louise. Mr. Cruthando here says, I went out 2 weeks ago with a friend. He invited other parents from the school WhatsApp group. It's not easy to make friends when you're a middle-aged man. Yeah, no, it is not, Mr. Cruthando. I completely agree. I don't think it's particularly easy to make friends for anyone right now. I think it's particularly difficult for middle-aged men, particularly of our generation. But yeah, I don't think it's particularly easy for anyone right now. The Bridge is here. She says, good morning, beautiful Bonnie Bohemian. Sorry, I fell asleep, but the topic interests me. Well, we're nearly over that topic. Sorry, Bridge. All right, let's see what people said on Instagram. Ria says, give me a blanket, a good series, and takeout over shouting in a crowded bar any day. Fewer people, more peace. Here's the thing. I've got a feeling, Dan, I'm going to read all these comments and agree. I agree with that statement. Give me a blanket, a good series or a book, some takeout Indian food, and I'm happy. But shouldn't I crave that social interaction, going to a bar, being with my friends? Shouldn't I crave that? Isn't that part of the human experience? Coffee says, a night out hits different. Music, random adventures, new people. Home is comfy, but outside's where the stories happen. Yeah, I agree. But it's become so expensive, hasn't it, to even leave the house nowadays. And I say, when I say expensive, I don't just mean monetarily. I mean, it requires a lot of bandwidth that we're just not used to spending anymore. Emotional bandwidth on just people and noise. And I don't know when that change happened for me, but I am kind of sad that it has. You know? Lena says, honestly, most weeks I'd rather stay in. Cheaper, better sleep, no hangover. I'll save the big nights out for special occasions. And finally, Hamza says, if it's the right crew... Oh, I can already tell we're a different generation. If it's the right crew, if it's the right group of friends and a chill vibe at home, elite. Okay. I feel like I have to translate this English comment into a different kind of English. So if it's the right group of friends and a good atmosphere at home, that's great. Board games feel good. A real conversation way better than yelling over a DJ. Yeah, and that's true. It's like not all evenings spent inside mean watching TV. I mean, board games. Some of my fondest evenings outside of my own house have been at Andrea's house playing board games, playing Risk. Yeah, this is a difficult one. I feel like I was born without FOMO. I have no fear of missing out. Well, it's not strictly true. I think when I first came to Spain, it was still alive and well. I'll be honest here. I think what killed it is when my best friend passed away, 2016. And then for a period there, when I came back, rejoined the Vaughan family, I kind of used to go out every Friday. I don't know, but this is a tough one. It's a tough one, particularly for me, because I feel like we all need... I say we, I mean me as well. We all need to be more social animals. I mean, we can't be having all our interaction with the outside world happening on our mobile phones. What happens then? Then we believe that the world presented to us by these curated algorithms and businesses is the real world. We believe we're all so different, and we believe that we're all so partisan and polarized, and the world is a dangerous, scary place. And open your window, step outside. It's not. And you can have fruitful, great conversations with people with different political beliefs than you, and that we're not all as different as the media wants to portray us. But of course, it's harder to believe that because we're not socializing. The idea of feeling out of place. We're 8 billion people, lonely people. 8 billion Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, on the planet, and we all feel lonely. So what's going on there? I would suggest it's because, I'm exaggerating there. I feel like here in the West, we're a lot more under the spell of digital realms, these curated, algorithmic experiences, right? I'm sure in other parts of the world. It's weird for me, Dan, because Spain, for me, when I first came here, was one of the most socially vibrant countries I ever experienced. The idea that I would step out onto the street at whatever time and see terraces full of people interacting, having fun. And now it's become a lot more similar to the UK, where it's, kind of quiet out. People in their own homes, watching TV, being fed by the algorithm. Whether that's the Netflix algorithm or the YouTube algorithm, take your pick. Something's going on. And recognizing this, it makes me sad when I see that 88% of us would prefer a night in. But if I'm honest with myself, I think I would prefer a night in too. So there's something wrong, and I would extend that something wrong to include myself. Should we see how people voted, Dan? I think we should. So I made the statement: a night in is often better than a night out. Una noche en casa es mejor que una noche de fiesta. And you guys said, we split them down the middle, Dan, 50-50. Yeah, I put my little sociologist hat on, and I find it easier. To project societal reasons for why we've become so, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Insular, maybe. Why we've covered the wagons and we want to stay in rather than go out. I mean, one reason might be one might be economic, right? It just costs so much. A bottle of beer and a snack is just, the idea that you can spend over €100 on a night out where you've never even stepped inside a club or anything. I mean, that's when you're struggling to pay your rent and bills. That's a big deal, isn't it? And then there's the idea of the socializing that is just so anxiety-inducing, isn't it? The idea to go out and try and kind of meet new people. Is it the idea of being confronted by ideas that might not necessarily jive with your own? I'm going to go out and meet people who don't agree with me, that live in a different reality. I mean, that's the case. Your reality is not the same as mine. All my feeds are curated to my own interests and yours to yours. Do we kind of believe that there is no point in common between us now? Eugene here says, it's more difficult for me to socialize nowadays because of the war. Yeah. Eugene joining us from Russia. Is it that one of our main motivators for young people, at least, maybe not now at my age, but when I was younger, a big part of the impetus for me to go out was to meet a partner. Oh my God. The one could be out there, so I would put my nicest shirt on, brush my hair when I had it, shave my face, look as good as I can to go out and meet a potential partner. And now, of course, that all happens online, doesn't it? Rather than having a sparkling personality, it's much more about a series of curated images. Does that have a part to play in it? Does it all have a part to play? Or is it simply the hangover from the COVID pandemic? Maybe the truth is it's a little bit of everything. But make no mistake, guys. I mean, we have a loneliness pandemic in the world. It's hard to make friends. It's hard to socialize. And certainly being trapped in our homes isn't going to solve that problem, is it? But perhaps you might argue that a night out won't solve it either. All right, but you know what Grandpa Bo would say about that, right, guys? He would say, Rob, that's just your opinion. And opinions, they're like buttholes. Everyone has one. They all stink, including yours. Let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Dunno, Dan. kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Unpopular opinion. I kind of ended up thinking about things that I wasn't prepared for. But it's true, don't you think? I mean, I think maybe the major catalyst might be the economic one. That it's just so damn expensive to go out and do anything. Does that play a part in your decisions?
Yes, but because, for example, when I told you that it was because of the way of return home, I would rather prefer going home before 2 a.m.
To get the metro.
Or after 6 a.m.
To get the metro.
Yes.
Got you. Yeah, so economically, it's a big factor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not so much a factor for me because I barely drink. Whenever I drink with a real drinker, I just get so drunk so quickly. So yeah, for me, it's not so much economic because I don't spend that much on the drinks. But I'm sure I do know that it's a factor. It is a factor for me. It's always in the back of my mind. My God, how much are we spending here? Anyway, sorry guys. It was a long walk to work across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name something you do on a romantic night in. Nombra algo que haces en una noche romántica en casa. Name something you do on a romantic night in. Keep it clean. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers. Your job in the audience is to identify those top 7 answers. All right, so there you go. What do you think, Dan? Name something you do on a romantic night in. No, it's not Pokemon. It's not there.
Watching a movie?
Watching a movie. Is watching a movie there? Yes, it is, Dan. Well done. And Dan, Radio Man, with 30 of 100 humans, it's the number 1 answer. Look at you. Oracle 2, The Revenge. Yeah, watching a movie is there. Mumalos on Instagram agreed with this. By the way, big thank you to Mumalos, Annika-san, Juana Reo, Carmen, Ivan, GP, and Samroff, Gemma Racina, and many others. For answering this. So watching a movie is there. I'm just going to let you all know. Or 90% of the people who answered on Instagram, sex is not there. Because everyone said sex. But some people said sex and other things, thankfully. Otherwise, this would be a very short segment.
Cancelled.
ProBoh cancelled. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other intimate things there. It's just sex isn't, because this is a family show. All right. Let's take a look at the chat. Drinking a little bit, says Eugene. A little drink. What's the romantic drink of choice, Dan? I'd say probably wine, isn't it? Let's get a bottle of wine. Is wine there? Having a drink of wine? Tomar vino? Yes, it is. Well done, Eugene. A little drink of wine. Why the hell not? Mr. Cruthando says, put on my best underwear. Grrr. Prepare a nice dinner, says Mr. Cruthando. Preparing a nice dinner. Cooked dinner. Cocinar la cena. Is it there? Yes, it is, Mr. Cruthando. Well done. If you're looking for another clue, you don't have to cook dinner. You could do something else. And that might be there. Eugene says kissing. No, kissing isn't there. Think you're watching a movie, you lay down on the sofa, and it's not sex. Yeah. A kiss and I'm looking for that. All right, anyway. Sorry, it's going to be hard to give clues for 2 of the last 3 without it sounding overtly sexual. So there you go. Let's see what people are saying. Eat too much rubbish, says Mumalos. Have a great dinner, says Annika-san. Drink some good wine, says Juana Reo. Yeah, and just a ton of people saying sex. A spa, says Gemma Racino. Spa. When Gemma Rossino says a spa, do you think she means a massage, Dan?
I guess so.
Yeah, me
It's good
too.
to have a spine.
A nice massage from your partner, or giving your partner a lovely massage. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. I have given hundreds of massages in my life. I think I've received maybe in my whole life like 4. Something going wrong with that ratio, Dan. Something wrong there. Eugene says hugging. A hug, a cuddle. Acurrucarse, which I love that word. Acurrucar. Acurrucarse, a cuddle. Is cuddling there? Yes, it is. Well done. There is only one answer to get, and it's not preparing dinner, as Ivan Samrov and Mr. Cruzando said. It's another way to get your food. Can you guess what it is, Dan?
Ordering.
Ordering takeout. Pedir comida a domicilio. Is it there? Yes, it is, Dan. Well done. We have completed today's 100 Humans. Let's go through the list. I asked 100 humans to tell me, name something you do on a romantic night in. In position number 7. We had order takeout. Pedir comida a domicilio. In position number 6. We had a massage. A massage. Dar o recibir un masaje. In position number 5. Oh, we missed this one. Oh, bwah, bwah, bwah. Candlelight. Luz de velas. Oh, we missed this one. Sorry, guys. In position number 4. We had a cuddle. Acurrucarse. In position number 3. We had wine. Tomar vino. Drink some wine. In position number 2. With 20 of 100 humans, we had cocinar la cena. And finally, in position number 1. We had to watch a movie. Ver una película. Sasha just joining us in the chat. Sadly for the end of the show. Welcome, Sasha. All right, guys, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for being with us. I'll be back again tomorrow and again on Thursday before I go on my... I'm going to stay in Madrid, but before I start my vacations. Friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning, but instead of doing those things, you took the time and spent some time with me and Dan, and it means the world. See you tomorrow.